Good morning. We are so glad you're here for the Applied Arts and Sciences Financial Aid webinar. I will be hosting us today. My name is Sam Nicolai. Kim, if you want to take us to the next slide. This is the fourth webinar we've done in this series. If you are interested in looking at those other three webinars we've done, they are available on the Coursera program page. So if you just Google search Coursera B.A.A.S, the page will come up. And if you scroll to the news section on that first page, you'll be able to see the recordings of the videos. Additionally, they are available on the Coursera YouTube page. And then on to the next. All right, so we are your team today. We've got Kimberley Wells, who is the Director of Financial Aid Operations at the University of North Texas. She'll be sharing today about all of the financial aid offerings we have for you. Stephanie Ellendary is the Program Project Manager for the Coursera program at UNT. And I am Sam Nicolai. I'm the Senior Digital Strategist over our Enterprise Division. We're happy to be with you today.
Okay, so just a recap from the program stance of what this program is exactly about if you've missed our other webinars. So this program, this degree, is a Bachelor of Applied Arts and Sciences, or the B.A.A.S degree. This degree is called a completion degree for the reason that our students are bringing in credit from other universities, whether they're within the United States or international. We have students who bring in military credit and also technical, or what we call workforce credit. So we have students coming in with all of that credit, and this degree is to help you finish without losing all of those hours that you've already gathered from other institutions. And we want you to finish and get a degree so you can move up in your career or move on in your life. This degree is fully online on the Coursera platform. We are partnering with Coursera to do this. The diploma that you get at the end, when you finish everything, it will say a Bachelor of Applied Arts and Sciences, and it will be from UNT. Coursera is not mentioned on the diploma. It is a UNT 4-year accredited institution diploma. The cost of classes is $330 per credit hour, and all of our classes are 3 credit hour courses. There is a one-time application fee. It's $75 for domestic students and then $85 for international students, and that's one time. And then there also is a one-time orientation fee, and that is $45. And so that is essentially just kind of how the program works at this point. And I am going to pass it over to Kim, and she's going to get started on how to finance this thing.
Yes, hi everyone. So as Sam mentioned, my name is Kim Wells, and I am the Director of Operations in the Financial Aid and Scholarships Office. And so today I just want to discuss different ways of funding your education. I'll give you an overview of financial aid and scholarships. We'll go over several different components of how to fund your education. I'll give additional details for a couple of special groups, international and undocumented students specifically. We'll discuss scholarships, cost of attendance, and the role it plays in funding your education. We'll also discuss special circumstances, which come into play if there have been changes in your income or expenses. And then at the end, we'll discuss satisfactory academic progress, which is your academic requirements to receive financial aid. We'll briefly discuss your student portal and email. And then lastly, I'll just go over a few different takeaways that you should remember. So what is financial aid? Financial aid is money from the federal government, state government, the institution, or private resources that assist you in meeting the cost of your education. So although UNT makes every effort to keep costs low, many students still need help paying for college. So UNT offers a variety of options to assist you in paying. You might be surprised to find out how much financial aid you can receive regardless of your family's income. The goal of this presentation is just to give you a few tips on how to get through the financial aid process. So I'm going to go over a few different types of financial aid. First, grants. So grants, unlike loans, are sources of free money that generally do not have to be repaid. Grant funds will pay towards your school bill and reduce your out-of-pocket expenses. There are federal, state, and institutional grants, and completing the FAFSA is the first step in getting grant funding. Most grants are awarded only to students with financial need. Also, requirements to receive the different grants and continue receiving grants, they're based, the requirements vary from program to program. And also you have to apply every year. So if your financial situation changes from year to year, your grant eligibility may change as well. A few grants that I want to discuss that you may be eligible for. The first is the federal Pell Grant, which is only awarded to undergraduate students who display exceptional financial need. You can also have not already earned a bachelor's, a graduate, or a professional degree. UNT also has institutional grants. We have the UNT grant and the UNT tuition grant. And then if you are a Texas resident, you may be eligible for the Texas grant. The grants I mentioned are the most common. We do have additional grants. The details of each of these grants can be found on our website, financialaid.unt.edu, under types of financial aid. Secondly, I want to discuss loans. Our office administers loans as well, which is borrowed money that must be repaid with interest. While you are in college, most loans do accumulate interest, but you are not required to begin repayment until 6 months after you've graduated. There are ways to start paying off your loans while you are in school, and after you graduate, there are also plans in place to help you with repayment after you graduate. So different loans, there's federal direct loans, parent loans, and private loans as well. They all have different eligibility requirements and award amounts. One thing that I do want you to know is that you are not obligated to accept the full loan amount you are offered. You can only accept what you need. I do know that deciding to borrow money while you're in school, it's important. One fact that borrowing money to complete your education often does lead to higher paying jobs in your career, but it is necessary to have reasonable expectations of what your salary may be after graduating. If you are considering borrowing, I suggest you go to studentaid.gov to learn interest rates, loan forgiveness programs, and repayment options. So when and how should you apply? So UNT's academic year is fall, spring, and summer. So for fall 2020, you could have begun to apply for financial aid October 1st, 2019. You do have to enter your income information when applying for financial aid. So the income that you will use on your 2020-2021 financial aid application is your 2018 income. You may also hear this referred to as your prior year income. Financial aid applications are the free application for federal student aid, or the FAFSA, or the Texas application for state financial aid, also known as the TASFA. These applications have to be completed each year, and you have to give your updated income information. I encourage students to set a reminder on their phones or their calendars for October 1st of each year, so you remember to complete the applications. So the FAFSA, this again opens on October 1st, and you'll have to complete it each year to receive it. The application is found on FAFSA.gov, and January 15th is UNT's FAFSA completion priority date. So you want to make sure you have submitted the FAFSA by this date. And the reason why is that state and institution grant funding is limited. So the sooner that you complete your application, the better chance you have of getting grant funding. Once you complete the FAFSA, you will receive a student aid report, which is a summary of your application. This report will include your expected family contribution, also known as your EFC. Know that the EFC on your student aid report is not the amount of money that you must pay for school, but it is the number that's used to determine eligibility for federal student aid. So later on in this presentation, we'll discuss your cost of attendance, your expected family contribution, and how it may affect the aid you are awarded. The next application is the Texas application for state aid, for state financial aid. And it's used to collect information to determine if you're eligible for state aid programs that are administered by UNT. So just the same as the FAFSA, you have to complete it every year, and it opens on October 1st, and the priority date is January 15th. This application should be used by students who are classified as a Texas resident who cannot apply for federal aid. So for example, our undocumented students may be eligible for the state financial assistance. Students on an F1, F2, or J1, J2 visa are not eligible for the FAFSA or the TASFA. So we really encourage international students to look for other resources to help you fund your education, in particular scholarships, or I would check with your employer to see if they have different options for you as well. So scholarships, another form of aid is scholarships. UNT offers various scholarship opportunities to help you finance your education. A scholarship is a financial award given to a student based on academic achievement. Many scholarships are awarded based on merit. However, some may also take into account financial need. These scholarship opportunities include university scholarships, departmental scholarships, and external scholarships. University scholarships, they are administered by our office, the Student Financial Aid and Scholarships Office, and are funded by the university and donors who support UNT. To complete these scholarships, you must submit the general scholarship application annually. For our incoming students, you must have been admitted by February 1st to compete for university scholarships, but please note this is an annual application, so you can continue to apply as a continuing student as well. Many of these scholarship deadlines have actually already passed, but for our transfer scholarships, the deadline is June 1st, so you can complete the general scholarship application. This can be found at unt.academicworks.com. UNT departments also provide scholarship opportunities to eligible students. So I encourage students to contact the department of their major to find out what they may offer, how to apply, and what deadlines they have. And then lastly, many nonprofit and private organizations offer scholarships as well to help students pay for college. This again is a type of free money, sometimes based on academic merit, based on talent, based on a particular area of study. And these could really make a huge difference in helping you manage education expenses. So I encourage students to do additional research for opportunities outside of university and departmental scholarships. So for our international students are admitted as new transfer students and are also considered for transfer scholarships. So keep that in mind. Even though international students are not eligible for federal financial aid, UNT International Affairs may have other resources available to you, including grants and waivers. So I want to stress that all international students do contact International Affairs for additional details. One grant that international students are eligible for is the Texas Public Education Grant. Applications for this grant are from May 1st to July 1st, and this grant is to provide financial assistance. Eligibility requirements. So newly admitted international students are not eligible to apply. But once you become a continuing student, I do encourage you to apply for this grant. Students must hold a valid passport, a student visa, and all required immigration documents. Students must be enrolled full-time, or they have to be approved to be enrolled less than full-time. At the time of the application, you must be meeting satisfactory academic progress. So you must be making specific academic requirements. Students have to be in good financial standing with the university, and you can apply for this using your iNorth Texas portal. Cost of attendance. Cost of attendance is determined by our office as well. And this is the estimated yearly cost for a typical student to attend UNT. We have several different costs of attendance for different types of students. So cost of attendance includes tuition and fees, as well as other basic living expenses. Remember that this figure, cost of attendance, is an estimate. So your actual cost will vary depending on several things. Tuition and fees will differ based on your enrollment, if you're full-time or half-time, your program, whether you're enrolled in all online classes or not, whether you're a Texas resident for tuition purposes or not. All of these factors go into your cost of attendance. So I want to make sure that you guys are aware that any figure that you see as your cost of attendance is not necessarily how much it will cost to go to UNT. So I wanted to show you this slide because the cost of attendance, along with your expected family contribution, is used to calculate your aid eligibility and your award package. Your financial aid amount cannot exceed your cost of attendance. So financial aid is actually determined by a simple formula. It's a student's cost of attendance minus the expected family contribution equals your financial need. And this is important because your financial need will actually help determine what kind of grants or loans you may be eligible for. So a question that we do receive often is it possible for me to be awarded up to my cost of attendance? And the answer is yes. Again, the type of aid that you are awarded is based on information we receive on your FAFSA or your TASFA. You have your gift aid, which is considered your departmental scholarships, your university scholarships, or your external awards. Grant aid, which is federal, state, or university, or loans, which can include federal direct loans, private loans, or parent loans. And this amount, if you receive all of this aid, the amount can total your cost of attendance. Any aid that you receive in excess of your actual tuition and fees costs or any other charges on your account will be refunded to you to help you pay for the additional education expenses you have outside of your tuition and fees. Special situations, they're also known as special circumstances. Since grants and loans are determined from the income used on your FAFSA, you can complete this process if there's been a major change in your situation since filing the FAFSA, or if you have a special circumstance that was not taken into account on the FAFSA. So if you do have a special situation, we will use documentation you provide our office to make decisions about updating your financial aid award packages. So on this slide, it includes different situations that we may consider. So for example, loss or reduction of employment, wages, or unemployment compensation, loss of tax income or benefits. So for example, Social Security or child support. If you've gone through separation or divorce, a death of a parent or a spouse, if you pay elementary or secondary school tuition, or if you've had unusual high medical expenses. And then lastly, it's dependency override. So if you are considered a dependent on the FAFSA and need to be considered an independent student, you will complete a special circumstances form. If it is determined that your circumstances have changed your financial situation, then we will review your aid and will reward you if necessary. So federal and state regulations governing student financial aid assistance require institutions to develop academic standards that measure progress towards degree. You will not be eligible for financial assistance if you do not meet academic progress requirements. So student financial aid and scholarships monitors satisfactory academic progress at the end of each term. You must be meeting the academic minimum standards for this to maintain your eligibility. So there are 3 measurements of academic progress. The first is qualitative. The minimum cumulative UNT GPA for undergraduate students is a 1.8 for their first term of enrollment. And then after that, it's 2.0 for all subsequent semesters. So just make sure that you are keeping the 2.0 GPA if you are receiving financial aid. The second measure is pace of progression. So you must successfully complete at least 67% of your cumulative attempted hours. So pace of progression is measured by dividing the cumulative number of hours successfully completed by the cumulative number of hours attempted. So for example, hours attempted include all hours you've enrolled in at UNT or any other college. So that includes your transfer work. It includes repeated courses and courses that you may have failed, taken it incomplete with, or withdrawn from. And then the third measure is max hours. We are required to establish a maximum number of credit hours to complete a degree. So for most UNT programs, it is 120 hours. So undergraduate students cannot exceed above 150% of the 20 hours. And these hours include all registered hours, all earned hours, and all attempted hours. Now we do have an appeal process. So if you fail to meet satisfactory academic requirements and lose financial aid eligibility, you may submit an appeal with any supporting documents you may have so we can reinstate your financial aid. So briefly, I wanted to discuss your student portal. It is important for you to continue to monitor your to-do list on your myUNT in case we need additional information from you. There will be checklists added to your portal letting you know if we need additional information. Under the financial aid tile, you can review your financial aid package. You can accept and decline awards. You can complete your loan counseling. You can view your satisfactory academic progress. When it's time for us to begin to award summer aid, you can complete your summer aid interest form, letting us know you want to be awarded. So there are many different things that we need you to look at on your portal. So just make it a habit to check your student portal often, because this is one way that we will communicate with you. And then quickly, your EagleConnect email address. So along with your portal, we also encourage students to check your EagleConnect email address. Communications from our office will go to your EagleConnect. So you want to make sure you're staying on top of things, and you want to make sure you're checking your email regularly. You should also have the option to forward your UNT email to any personal email you may check more frequently. So if you don't log on and check your UNT email very often, I would suggest having it forwarded to an email that you do. So important notes, when you are completing the FAFSA or the TASFA, make sure that you are keeping copies of all of your income information, just in case you are selected for the verification process and we need to see the information that you included on those applications. Complete the and TASFA each year by the published deadline, so you can make sure that you are in the running for university and state grants. And don't forget that you have to apply for financial aid and scholarships separately. The general scholarship application is used for scholarships. And please never pay anyone for assistance with your financial aid applications. Our office is available to help you, and we are the subject matter experts, so I definitely would encourage you to just contact our office. Keep all copies of correspondence from federal processors in UNT. So anything that you receive in regards to your FAFSA, TASFA, or our office, any emails or anything, make sure you keep copies of that. Again, check your myUNT portal and EagleConnect email regularly. Don't forget to submit all of your transcripts to the admissions office. And one thing that you need to know is that most programs require at least half-time enrollment, and half-time for an undergraduate student is 6 credit hours. For scholarships, attendance requirements may vary. So if you are not going to be a full-time student and you want to apply for a scholarship, just make sure that you are eligible to receive it at a half-time rate. And then lastly, just a reminder for international students, they can apply for state aid through the UNT International Your I-North Texas portal. And you should direct most of your international questions to international.scholarships@unt.edu. So our office hours are Friday, 8 to 5. If you are ever on campus, you can visit us in the Eagle Student Services Center, right in the middle of campus. We are on the first and second floor of that building. You can see our phone number and email addresses are on this slide as well. Another very good resource is Financial Aid TV. That part of our website has short videos that answer very common financial aid questions as well. And then lastly, just make sure that whenever you do call our office, to have your 8-digit student ID number so we can better assist you. And now if you have any questions, this will be your time to ask.
So if you have questions, go ahead and pop them into the Q&A box. We've had quite a few come in during the presentation. So we'll just go ahead and start at the top of the list. We do want to clarify one thing. We've had a lot of people asking if English is a requirement for this program. And there is an English requirement. So you do have to pass the TOEFL, the IELTS, or the Duolingo exam in order to be eligible for this degree. So if you do not speak English, unfortunately, we don't have a Spanish language or other language version of this degree for you at this time. We've had a lot of questions, Kim, around international students getting financial aid or getting help paying for the degree. Can you give those websites again where they might find information from UNT?
Yes. So for our international students, it's going to be our International Affairs Office. Let me go back on the slide so you guys can see. So international.unt.edu. And there's also the email address international.scholarships@unt.edu. So they can answer any specific questions about any grants or waivers that the international office offers.
Great. And the great thing about this degree too is that you don't have to have a visa to complete this degree because you can stay where you are as it's fully online. So our international office is prepped and able to help you as you are trying to find out ways that you can help pay for this degree. There was one question about whether or not computer science is included in the degree. So you can take the Google IT certificate on Coursera, and that certificate can transfer into your degree plan. So if you go back and watch the program webinar or the advising webinar, there is more information about that, how that Google IT program fits into this degree in both of those webinars. You can also go to the Coursera page and you can talk to an enrollment coach through the Coursera page who will help you understand how that works. Let's see. So I do just want to clarify that this is a fully online program on Coursera. So you don't have to come to campus. You don't have to be in the United States. You don't have to be in Texas. This is fully online. All of your coursework, all of your lectures, all of your projects will all be on Coursera. And it also, if you are, no matter where you are in the world, you are eligible to apply for this as long as you've got those 60 hours of previous credit and a 2.0 cumulative grade point average as well. So there was a question about the total cost of this program. It varies a little bit because you can transfer in credits. So it kind of depends on how many credits you have already. But I can tell you the cost per credit hour is $330. So for each course you take, each course will have 3 credit hours. So 330 times 3, that means each course is going to be $990. And then, it depends on how many credits you need to complete. But you can plan on completing. Stephanie, can you help me out here? What is the average that students for this degree, the average number of credit hours they have to complete?
Yeah, so the average number of credit hours typically for students to complete coming in is probably between like 45 to 6 credit hours. But that really just depends upon what credits you're bringing in, especially international credits. We have to essentially take a look at your transcripts, do a conversion for the credit hours, see what we would award you per your credit hours. So it might be a little bit more. Obviously, this program, you have to come in with 60 credit hours. And then you have to graduate. The minimum to graduate is 120 total credit hours. So if you're coming in with just 60, you're going to need 60 more. So it's going to be between 60 and essentially 36, usually for most people, between 60 and 36 hours to finish.
Great, thanks. We had a question, Kim, from someone asking, when is the FAFSA available for me to fill out if I want to start in fall 2020?
It's available now. So if you're starting this fall, it actually opened last October. So go ahead and fill it out now. And then October 1st, 2020, it will be available for the next academic year.
Great. I also just want to clarify that this is a bachelor's degree program. So if you already have a bachelor's degree, this isn't a type of program that you would want to look into. You would probably be looking more at a master's program. I know Coursera has many master's programs on their platform. We also have master's programs. You can visit online.unt.edu to see that list of our online graduate programs as well. So there's a question about TOEFL or the GRE. The GRE is for master's programs, so you do not need to take the GRE for this program. If you are not an English speaker, you do need to pass a language test. It could be TOEFL. We actually recommend Duolingo as it is less expensive and you get your results more quickly, and it's a little bit easier to use as far as you can retake your assessment multiple times as well. I just want to clarify as well, we are recording this session, so if you missed any part of it or you want to go back and rewatch sections of it, it will be both on the Coursera page, which I've posted in the chat a few times, or on the Coursera YouTube page. I believe also if you are registered for this webinar, you will get an email from Coursera with the link to the video. If you're interested in getting started now, email UNT-BAAS@Coursera.org to get connected with our enrollment coach, Taylor or Reza, and they will help you to get started on the pathway. I'm seeing some questions about, I have this type of credit or I have this many credits, would I be eligible? That would be a question for you to specifically talk about with your enrollment coach or with your advisor. So if you email that email address or if you visit the Coursera page, that would be a great place for you to start in getting those questions answered. Let's see. So if you were formerly a UNT student and you are interested in this program, you can absolutely apply for this program as well. If you are a current UNT student, it would just be a major change. So you would talk to your advisor about that. If you were a UNT student many years ago, looking at coming back, participating in this fully online program, you would have to go ahead and apply again through the Apply Texas application. But you can also start by visiting the Coursera page as well. The link is in the chat. Let's see, I'm scrolling through all of your questions. You've asked great questions. If I have credits that are over a decade old, do they still count? Yes, you can transfer those credits in, and our advisor will work with you to make sure that they're the right type of credit, so that they're from an accredited institution or they're technical credit or military credit that is transferable. But it doesn't matter how old they are, you can go ahead and transfer those in. Let's see. There's a question about a passport. Because you don't need to come to the United States, you don't need a passport or a visa. You will stay in your home to take these courses. They can be done anywhere. Let's see. Are the videos on Coursera or on UNT's website? So I'm not sure if for the webinar, the videos are on the Coursera website and the Coursera YouTube page. I will go ahead and repost the Coursera website in the chat there. I just added it. So I see a question here. My high school diploma is from overseas, but I'm not an international student. I live in the US. Am I still required to have a TOEFL? That would be a question for you to talk about with your advisor. They can help you know exactly what you need to do for those admission steps. So if you visit that Coursera webpage, they will get you in contact with our wonderful advisor for this program. His name's Brett. Let's see. Okay, so in regards to the cost mentioned in the slide that talks about the cost of attendance, is that the amount per year or for the whole program?
So remember that the cost of attendance is not the actual cost of the program. It is an estimated cost. It will be an estimated cost for an entire year, but it's just a figure to help us determine what kind of financial aid you will be eligible for. It's not your actual expenses.
Thanks. So for those of you who are saying that you don't quite meet that 60-hour threshold to apply for the program, if you want to talk to a Coursera enrollment coach or an advisor, they can help you to get to a place where you can earn those credits and be eligible to the program. They can direct you to a community college or someplace online for you to take those courses so that you can transfer that credit in and start your Bachelor of Applied Arts and Sciences as well. Oh, this is a good one. So upon completion, do we have the ability to walk in the graduation ceremony on campus? Absolutely. If you enroll in this program, you are a UNT student. You are part of our Mean Green family, and you have all of the same rights as any UNT student. So you would get to graduate in the graduation ceremony if you choose. We're also working on trying to develop some sort of virtual graduation for those of you who can't make your way to North Texas for a graduation ceremony. Do we have language courses? Currently, we are not offering any language courses. We do offer English courses, like one English language course, but not a foreign language like Spanish or French. We don't offer that at this time. What is the age limit for this degree? There is no age limit. We have seen 70, 80-year-olds who want to complete their bachelor's degree in this program. So it does not matter how old you are, or, you know, that threshold of 60 hours will determine, you know, a lot of students straight out of high school are not going to be able to take this degree because they won't have that 60-hour threshold. So there is that to keep in mind. How long are the courses? Each course is 8 weeks in length. You can take a maximum of 2 courses per 8-week session. So there are 2 sessions in the fall, 2 sessions in the spring, and 1 session in the summer. Let's see. If you are already a UNT student, you can absolutely be a part of this program. Let's see. So there's a question about the 60 credit hours needed to join this program. So just to be more clear, those 60 credit hours can come from any previous educational experience. So you could have earned them at a community college, at a previous 4-year university where you started to earn credits and then had to leave for one reason or another. Technical credit counts, military credit counts. You will work with your advisor and share your transcripts, and your advisor will help you transfer all of your earned credit in for the degree. There's a question here, do you offer business courses? We have 6 concentrations. Some of those concentrations are focused in management or marketing. You can see information on that on the Coursera webpage. You can also watch the program or the advising webinar for more information on those courses. This degree starts on August 24th. There is a question here about how long it'll take to complete the degree. And at this point, that is not a question that we can answer because it depends on how many credit hours you bring in and the speed at which you want to complete the degree. So some people who are going to be working full-time with families or children are not going to want to take 2 classes every 8 weeks and rush to get it done. Some people, their threshold is going to be 1 class every 8 weeks. And if that's the case, that's totally fine. It'll just stretch out your time. So you can work with your advisor to determine the speed at which you want to complete the program, how many courses you want to take at once, what your threshold is as a learner. So I think, Stephanie, have you seen any that I need to address that I have not yet?
No. I'm looking through the questions. There's a lot of questions, which is good. Thank you guys for asking them. Yes, people who have attended UNT before, you're a returning student, you can definitely do this program. Yeah, really just since we have a lot of international students on the webinar, let's just take a look at your transcripts, kind of start you in this process, see if you have enough credit. And by doing that, you want to send an email to UNT-BAAS@Coursera.org, and we will help you through that process to tell you if you're eligible, how to apply. We'll walk you through, get you help with financial aid if you are applying. So we're here to help you through all of that. Just send an email there, and we will help you through the process. But otherwise, everything looks good. And then also for everyone, again, we have done 3 other webinars before this one. We did a program one, which outlines all of the curriculum, everything that is offered for the degree. We've also done an advising webinar, which again goes more in depth into the classes and what advising looks like. 2 weeks ago, we did admissions, so you know exactly how to apply, what that whole process looks like, and now we have this financial aid. So those 3 others, if you did miss them, they are on the Coursera page, and that has been put in the chat for you guys to look at. And you can get more information that way. And really, essentially, the big thing with this program is that before you even apply, we're doing a lot of the legwork to figure out where you stand. So you don't have to spend, the money of applying until you feel comfortable that, okay, I know how many credits I have, and I'm probably going to have to take at UNT, and you know what to expect. So again, just send us your transcripts. And when I say transcripts, it could be a mark sheet. It's called many different things in many different nations. It needs to show the classes you've taken, credit hours you have, the grades you have, and the number of semesters you've taken. And these, for this first time when you send them, they do not need to be official transcripts. They can be unofficial, but just know that when you will apply to the program, you will need official transcripts sent.
Great, thanks. All right, well, we are gonna wrap up here. I'm gonna go ahead and share a poll. I would love for you to give us some answers there in the poll before you sign off. Stephanie and I are gonna stay on for a little bit answering questions in the chat and gathering some more information of different ways that we can follow up. So we are so thankful that you are here today. Kim, thank you so much for coming and sharing financial aid information. We look forward to talking to all of you attendees, and we hope that you will choose to join our Mean Green family. Have a great day.